Hey, Austin. Thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you taking the time. And yeah, really wanted to focus the conversation today on fly fishing and your involvement in running community fly fishing and some of your background and some of your experiences. And also would love to touch on how you feel like the skills in fly fishing and your experiences in fly fishing have touched other aspects of your life in the professional
Mm.
world and the personal world and the friendship world. Um, so is it okay if I just ask you a bunch of questions?
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, and Mark, thanks so much for having me. I know we've been talking about this for a little bit, man. So really, just excited to share and yeah, just keep the conversation rolling, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So yeah, I would love to just kind of start from the beginning. When did you first go fly fishing, and how did you fall in love with it?
So originally I'm from Kansas City. So my parents moved out to Colorado when I was in kindergarten. So really kind of grew up out here. You know, a lot of my early childhood memories, and, really kind of stem in Colorado. So once we did that move, I remember going to the mountains with my brother and my dad, and we just saw all these folks, fishing in the river with long rods, and they were catching fish, and we had our conventional tackle, and obviously no shade on conventional fishing or anything like that, but it just wasn't as effective or as efficient as everybody else was. And we were fortunate enough to get a guide day out when I was really young, and just remember being a toddler, kind of walking the bank and doing a little bit of casting and whatnot, but really just falling in love with the outdoors and just kind of that time spent really just outside. So really kind of from there was a few ponds that were really close to our home, kind of growing up as a kid, and we get the opportunity to ride our bikes down, or get a ride from the parents down, and really just spend the afternoons fishing and throwing dry flies at small little bass and perch. Really kind of throughout my elementary and middle school, man, and really just enjoyed it so much. And really from there, and like I tell everybody I work with, I think it's like a whole progress. Fly fishing is a life cycle, so that's kind of my adolescent life cycle in this sport. But really, from there, I was able to, I went to Reach Jesuit High School down south, and had a lot of different friends that were into fly fishing, and just kind of getting into the outdoors. And so we would go to Bear Creek and Clear Creek, and the Denver South Platte, just kind of areas that had trout, or different species that were really kind of closer to the area, so we didn't have to go all the way up into the mountains, and especially since we weren't driving yet. So so that's kind of how I really get kind of my early years of the sport. And really from there, man, it just continued to progress. Like I said, it's a whole life cycle. So I had the opportunity to go to Penn State University, and really, I went on a track scholarship, and was able to get a great business degree there. But um, I knew they had so much fishing kind of around the campus. And so I really wanted to make sure I was able to kind of get some fishing in, and just get some good time in the outdoors, while being a student athlete, and then also while going to class too. And so did a ton of fishing in college. And in my summers, I would come back and being a fly fishing instructor, guide up at Lincoln Hills Fly Fishing Club, where we would take folks out, and really just teach them how to fly fish up there. So it was a great kind of balance, through having, being able to kind of fish during my school year, and then also guiding and whatnot during the summertime. So, man, that's kind of how it all has kind of stemmed and really started. And just kind of looking at where I'm at now, man, I look back and I'm like, I can't even believe it. Can't even believe what we got going on now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Who were some of your key mentors growing up in terms
Yeah.
of really teaching you, the proper art of fly fishing?
Man, it's so crazy. YouTube was my mentor. So I would go onto YouTube, and I would just listen, I'd listen to different videos just on basic skills of casting, or, selecting flies, the aquatic life cycle. Um, and I was able to kind of just take all this just information and really just different people teaching the same kind of skills or fundamentals, and really was able to kind of craft my game from that. Through that too, I was able to really go to kind of a guide school that was provided by the Fly Fisher Guide Service, which was awesome. And so I was really able to kind of look up to some of the older guides, and really just kind of understand their game and their knowledge, and really kind of always just known it. Done it since I was a kid, but just kind of using that to my advantage and putting that in my arsenal, and obviously, tweaking it in different ways to kind of make my own style, really of fly fishing. So, I wouldn't say that there's like one person, but it's just, being able to kind of gain that information and knowledge on YouTube and then applying that into the real world. And then also really kind of getting into more of that guide, putting my guide hat on from there too, and really going through that program and really just kind of spending time with those older guides, man. It really just changed my game, which has been huge for sure.
So just a super quick question. Do you mind reflecting on your accomplishments as an athlete at Regis High School?
Oh yeah. So I was playing basketball for years. So I did a lot of basketball, and um, it's so funny. It was my dad's idea to get me into track. I really didn't have like a not so much like an interest, but I don't think I knew a lot about track. But my dad was like, "Hey man, Mark, I got to tell you, man, I could dunk in eighth grade." And so people were like, "Hey, like you're kind of jumping pretty high here." So I'll never forget, man. My freshman year, I was at a track meet, and my brother was actually doing the high jump. I think I was just running. I mean, it was like the 100 or something like that. But something happened, and he was just like, "Hey, man, like I really don't want to do this. Are you okay?" Kind of coming in as Alan Campbell and doing the high jump for me. And I was like, "Man, I got you. Let me see if I can kind of figure this out." And I think I ended up jumping like 6'3" or something, which was pretty good. It was like a freshman, and that's when I kind of knew. I was like, "Dang, like I really enjoy high jump, but I love to just kind of jump in general." So that's when really kind of that high jump became a big kind of part of my life, man. And gosh, yeah, I was able to. I think I was like runner up one year for state, and then I was able to be a state champ. I think it was my senior year, junior year. But really, that was able to kind of, I was able to kind of get a lot of interest from different college programs and whatnot. So then I kind of made the decision to go out east and kind of get a whole new perspective. I had a bunch of different offers and stuff like that from schools around the area, SEC schools, Big Ten schools, Pac-12. But I was really like, hey, I want to make sure that I can continue to fish or kind of still have that connection to nature. And so when I went on my visit, man, the coach got me by literally saying, "Hey, bring all your fly fishing gear to your visit." And a lot of the seniors on my visit actually took me out fly fishing, and I was just like, "Man, this is incredible." So that's how they kind of got me. So yeah,
Ingenious.
ingenious,
Ingenious recruiting.
ingenious recruiting. I
Yeah.
tell you, I took the
So
bait, Mark.
so Austin, how much are you guiding? How many days a year these days currently?
Yeah, so it kind of depends. And honestly, I mean, I've got a nonprofit that I'm sure I'll talk a little bit more about. But I basically try to do at least, I try to get about 12 trips per month. And really, they're my own clients now. When I was younger and I was doing, God, I was probably doing like 110 to 120 days a year kind of on the water, specifically guiding. And really with that, with what I'm doing now and, kind of still having my own clients that I do take out, and then also running community fly fishing, man, I'm out there a lot of days and really just in kind of different ways now too with running the nonprofits. Um, so yeah, I hope that kind of answered your question there, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah. How much are you involved with Campbell HR?
Yeah, still so it really kind of, Campbell HR, man, I love it. And we created that actually in 2020, and it was created by really my mom. She had this idea of like, hey, I've been connecting so many folks in the Denver area for years. I'd love to do a human resource firm. And my wife and I graduated probably at like the worst time. So it was 2020 when we had COVID going on, everything's kind of shut down. And so with my finance degree, she's like, hey, and my wife's marketing degree, she's like, hey, I'm kind of interested in starting this. If you all are able to, jump in, is there an interest? And from there, man, we jumped in and really kind of kicked it in gear and got it going. And so we've been around for about 6 years now, which is fantastic. And so I'm still, able to kind of really balance everything out by really working remote on the days that I'm able to kind of take, the time off and have our clients out. But it's kind of a mix. So really kind of during the winter time, when it's not as frequent and whatnot with getting kind of clients out, or our programs are kind of wrapped for community fly fishing. I'm able to kind of focus more on Campbell HR. But when that spring, summer, kind of fall gets going, man, it gets busy. So I'm really kind of working remote, or I'll be working in the truck, or making sure kind of things are going through after the guide trip or after the community fly fishing days, man. So it keeps me busy for sure. So.
Very cool. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about how you got the idea and the inspiration to start community fly fishing.
Yeah. So community fly fishing, man. So we started in 2020, in the summer of 2020. And really, man, just after already, instructing and guiding for 4 years, back then I was just like, I'm kind of tired of taking the same individual out. I want to figure out how I can throw a wrench in this equation, really, and just have different opportunities and different people, kind of come to the table. And so that's what kind of sparked the idea. So, it was myself, my brother, we grabbed folks, that I had been guiding with, throughout my career, and then also just different friends, that we had fished with throughout the years. And we said, hey, let's try to throw a wrench in this equation. And so we started going to different areas throughout the Denver area. So, we would spend time in downtown Denver and Five Points neighborhood. We would go to Montbello. We would go to Green Valley Ranch, Commerce City, all these different areas where, typically those, individuals, don't have that same or equal access to the outdoors. But we would really just start in parks, and we would teach people how to cast. We would go through knots. We would talk about entomology, the aquatic life cycle, really kind of giving them a quick preview of everything that we're doing out there when we are fly fishing. And with that, man, I think, gosh, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I was talking to a few folks from Patagonia, and was able to really kind of pitch and talk about community fly fishing, along with my guiding and whatnot. But this just new passion that I had for just getting other individuals out there on the water. And so with that, they were able to kind of come in as really just an early sponsor for community fly fishing, and assisted us in really kind of getting, the means necessary to get those individuals out. And kind of looking at it now, with that, it's like, Patagonia has been an awesome partner. And now we're able to bring in the Nature Conservancy. So we're able to really kind of offer areas that we can go and fish and whatnot that can be a little bit more secluded for folks to get out. And then also bringing in Colorado Parks and Wildlife, which has also given us different access to watersheds and lakes and whatnot in the area that we can take people out on. So it's been fantastic. With that too, we've actually branched into new areas, in throughout the U.S. But then also doing different initiatives in different countries, really working closely with the Bohemian Fly Fishing Industry Association, which has been fantastic, and the Ministry of Tourism down there, to kind of also host community fly fishing events alongside of their partnership in different countries. So yeah, it's definitely progressed and changed, and I've just really been enjoying the whole time, and kind of watching it grow. So yeah.
That's incredible. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit more about your programs in the Bahamas and the
Yeah.
impact you're making on the community there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been awesome. So the program that we did, that's actually back in August. So basically, what we did, we actually started working with about 12 kids, on New Providence. So if you know New Providence, it's where Nassau is, kind of like the um, more populated island that's kind of in the Caribbean. Some of the Caribbean folks would say it's almost like the New York City, of the Caribbean. So the idea of our program there really was to teach a group of kids just the basics, the basic fundamentals, of fly fishing. And with that, we had different individuals that came down from community fly fishing But really, the Bohemian Fly Fishing Industry Association, they were really able to kind of provide those guides to kind of come in and teach the casting foundations. Since it's a whole different game from some trout bums coming from Colorado. So, it's just awesome to really kind of learn from them and just different ways that they have in teaching the sport. And just tactics of catching, bonefish, tarpon, permit, and whatnot that are down there. So for our program, we worked with the Carmichael Urban Renewal Centers. The Carmichael Urban Renewal Centers are basically in different areas in the Bahamas, and they almost act as different community centers for kids to kind of get into while they're either out on the weekends, or kind of through those summer months. And so they do different activities. A lot of times it'll be basketball or tennis. I know basketball, tennis, what other sports they do, soccer. Um, this was the first time that they've ever done something with fly fishing or with fishing, which was fantastic. So we were able to really show these kids, hey, there's this flat that's behind the area that you're living at that you can walk and you can find these fish. And our biggest thing was really to just show kids that, one, you can do it too, and then also really just provide additional conservationists. I think the Bahamas, their environment, it's so important to just continue to kind of, keep their environment intact and healthy. And so it's great to kind of show these kids, the impact, that really they have that's down there. I mean, 75% of the country is water. The other percent, is land. And so they're people of the tides. That was one kind of thing that they would always talk about. They're people of the tides. And so it's great to kind of see those kids, really kind of get interested and excited, and knowing that, hey, this place is for me. And there's also a career in it. They can become a fly fishing guide that's down there. With that too, so we started with 12, and on the third day of our program, we walked down the flats with 25 people. So, that interest and that excitement,
Wow.
really, it really it was just so, forthcoming. And you could just really kind of see the impact that we were having down there. And, it was amazing too, so we were able to provide, fly rods, reels, we had vices, materials, just kind of everything that they really kind of needed to kind of get started. And so it's just going to be amazing to kind of see how the relationship continues to progress, and just the excitement for the individuals. Um, there's the school is called BAMSI, and so it's an agricultural school, and it's on Andros, and they have a certified guide program that's down there. And I believe there was two or three kids that were, from the group that actually signed up to go to BAMSI, to kind of go in the program and become a certified guide. For that, that's a huge win. In my eyes. But, the other win is just having those kids out there and having them really see just the amazing things that you can get from spending times in the outdoors and fly fishing. So that was a lot, Mark. Sorry. I kind of threw a lot at you there, man. But
Oh no.
yeah.
God, talk forever about that. That must be so incredibly rewarding to have
Mhm.
an impact on a community like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. A ton of fun, and we're really looking forward to it. So next year we're actually going to go down, and I'm going to be down there for the whole month of July into August, and we're going to be basically running these same programs on different islands. So we're going to go to 6 different islands while we're down there, and we're going to be having those same programs, and really kind of getting just more excitement and more interest into the sport down there as well. And it's just been an awesome partnership with the Bohemian Fly Fishing Industry Association. I mean, they were able just to really kind of they allowed us to feel like we were family and at home. So just an amazing partnership and relationship, and just excited for it to continue. So yeah.
Wow. Has Patagonia been a significant sponsor for that as well?
Yes, we brought some great sponsors and partners in on it. I know we had Patagonia come in. We had Airflow and Airlight. Orbis has always been an awesome partner with us as well. We had Renzetti come in for Vices. Yeti was able to do some water bottles. So it's fantastic, man. It's a fantastic community, that we're able to kind of cultivate and just bring folks together. So. So yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So what do you envision community fly fishing being in 5 years from now?
Yeah, yeah. So right now, so we're really kind of in that area of expansion, right? So I actually just got back from Atlanta last Monday, or I think it was on Sunday. But fantastic. So we actually have an Atlanta chapter of community fly fishing opening up with few instructors, and facilitators in that area. So it's going to be awesome to see kind of that Georgia, chapter of community fly fishing advance. And then we also just started another chapter in Chicago as well too, and so we've got some great instructors and facilitators up there as well, that are going to be able to really just teach folks how to fly fish, in urban settings, which is awesome. And then really kind of showing them, different areas that they can go to, around their areas that they can go to and fish. So definitely to continue to expand in the U.S. There's different countries and areas that we'd love to run different initiatives and trips on as well too, that will kind of continue to do that, excuse me. And then we also have a women's program that just kicked off. It's going to be kicking off next year as well too. So we're really looking forward to that. So I would say in the next 5-10 years, really kind of looking at it as different chapters in different areas that are just able to kind of bring people together, teach them the sport, and really just kind of build community, at the end of the day. Um, so yeah.
What would you say some of the largest challenges are to building community fly fishing?
Yeah, largest challenges. Hmm. And it's so funny because finding the people, man, it's so like organic. Finding the people that are interested in helping out. I mean, just the messages that I get on like a weekly basis is fantastic. Um, I don't know, Mark. I think just making sure, continuing to make sure that we are, living our mission in terms of just getting those individuals that haven't had that access into the outdoors. Really, just wanting to make sure that we're tapping into that community, and partnering with the right folks and the right nonprofits and whatnot that also have interests. So, um, yeah, man, I don't know if that's like a challenge or not, but I don't know. So yeah.
Very cool. Wow. I would love to come see you in the Bahamas this summer.
Yeah, man.
That would
It'd
be
be great to have,
incredible.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Would it
absolutely.
be possible for a couple of Boonfly people to come down and help
Man,
volunteer, have an
yeah.
impact?
So and really what we're doing, man, because we've got a ton of community fly fishing folks, that are interested in going, and they've been assisting with those programs, with us for so long. So, honestly, anyone that's interested, in coming down and helping us out, we're definitely open to have conversations and just figuring out how individuals can kind of assist. For sure. So, whether it's boots on ground, or assisting in different ways, man, there's always need for help. So, yeah.
So, how do you see the experience, the art, the skills of fly fishing? How do you see in some ways that relating to other aspects of your life?
It's so interesting. So fly fishing, and I think instructing it and guiding it, um, patience, it really allows patience to kind of show up, on a day-to-day basis. So, whether I'm taking the same client out that I've been, guiding with for the past, however many years, or just new individuals that haven't even gone on a hike or spent much time in the mountains. Patience and really just meeting folks where they're at. While they're learning this sport. People. I think I was asked on an interview the other day. They're like, when did you know that you mastered it? I was like, I've never mastered this sport, and I don't think I will ever master this sport. But if I can kind of continue to learn, from different individuals, in my mind, that just continues to kind of help me as an angler, as a guide, as a facilitator, as an instructor. Um, but shoot, Mark, sorry, what was your question again, man? I was going down a tangent. I had a tangent there.
Oh, I was just talking about how some of the skills, how some of the
Yes, sorry.
changing conditions, all the
Yes.
variants that it actually takes to be
Yes.
successful in catching wild trout on a river.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We've drawn, I'm not sure how much you've been on my LinkedIn page or checked out some of my posts, but we're drawing synergies and analogies between wealth management and financial planning and fly fishing.
Awesome.
Because, as you know, probably better than I know, that, any day on the Bighorn or the Madison or the South Platte, it has got so many different variables, time of year, time of day, air temperature, water temperature. Is it cloudy? Is it sunny?
Hmm.
What's the CFS? What particular water am I fishing? Am I fishing slower water, deep, fast water, et cetera, et cetera? It's just,
Hmm.
I see it as an eternal game of chess, uh,
Yes.
solving an eternal puzzle, but the puzzle's always moving and the pieces always change.
Yes,
So,
exactly. And that's what it is. It is. And kind of back to that, it's taught me patience through that and being willing and okay of really just adjusting. Okay, this certain setup, this worked for the past, week. Why isn't it working today? And so it's, being able to kind of be fluid in your environment, um, and being okay with change, and I think that is, it's huge. I mean, with community fly fishing, I mean, we're opening this whole sport to different perspectives and individuals that changes the game. But it's with that, how do you kind of react and um, how do you kind of move with it? And so, I'm always, telling, the instructors and guides and whatnot that work with us, it's, be patient, meet your folks where they're at. This can be their first time, or, maybe this is their however many time on the river, but it's not always going to be the same. There's always going to be some facet of the sport that's going to be changing, and that's like the seasons of life. And I'm sure even like the seasons of financial planning too. I mean, having people that maybe have started with X, Y, and Z assets, and watching that kind of progress, and with that too, are they able to kind of stick on that budget, kind of throughout the whole process to
right.
to make sure that they're hitting their goals. So I love that, man. There's so many connections there, Mark. I think that's fantastic.
Excellent. Excellent. Um, Gosh, I'm trying to, so tell me a little bit more about community fly fishing in the women's program. How you
Mhm.
how you thought to get that going? What was the motivation to add that program?
Um, so for the women's program, and it was really Samantha Von Cannon. She's our program director of community fly fishing. She's been working with us for years. It really stemmed from her thought and her idea of, hey, there's still a lot of men that are going to these programs. They could be coming from different backgrounds, but there's still, we're still missing, or needing to improve, getting more women out there. And so it's really kind of her kind of sitting down and saying, hey, this is an idea that we have, let's go and let's see, through different nonprofits and partners that we have, who would be interested in kind of partnering with us, on this journey of, starting this women's program. And so it was a phenomenal idea that she's had. I'm really excited, for it to kind of come to light in our 2026 season here. But really just, all thank you to Sim and Devon Cannon on getting that started, and, and her ethos, and, wanting to see kind of equal representation really out there. So, yeah, big thank you to Sam for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else you would like to discuss that we haven't covered, Austin?
No, I think, it's so funny. Just kind of fly fishing is a whole life cycle. I think I mentioned that earlier. But and just kind of seeing where you fit in, and the seasonality of it. So for me, it's like, I started so young. I was able to start guiding and whatnot, in college, and my early 20s, and just seeing now, this community fly fishing and still guiding and whatnot, really kind of being my forefront. But the biggest thing is, I think the outdoors is for all, and different communities and representation, they deserve that same opportunity of getting out there and enjoying the amazing moments that we have, whether it's urban fishing, or, fishing on wild trout streams and whatnot. But just that ability to be one with nature, and really kind of spend that time is key, and it's huge. And there's so much work, that we still have to do, to kind of continue that. Um, so yeah, no, I think that's it, man. I think that's it.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, I guess one last question. How do you see our organization of Boonfly um, progressing and partnering closer with community fly fishing, really getting involved
Mhm.
with your organization?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I would say, we are always looking for different instructors, new instructors, to come on and assist us. And so, any way that, Boonfly would be interested in partnering with us, on the instructor kind of front. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but, not all of our programs are, hiking into Phantom Canyon, but we have programs and whatnot that are in the Denver area that's really accessible for all. Also, being able to go to kind of different events and continue to speak about community fly fishing and what we're doing, and the impact that we've had, and the impact that we have yet to have and continue to build. Um, so, I think it's a great partnership, and really excited for it to kind of continue.
Just go ahead and just
Yeah.
talk about
So yeah,
your guiding experience and how many days a year you're involved with it.
easy. So for my guiding, so I've been fortunate and had the pleasure to guide for Wonderland Outdoors. They are a Colorado-based outfitter. They do fly fishing. They also do horseback riding, different hikes, and then also different yoga and kind of yoga classes as well too. So I do a lot of my guiding through Wonderland Outdoors, which is owned by Angel and Bobby Massey. And then I also do guiding for front range anglers as well. So located in the Boulder area. And so it's been amazing, man. I really have enjoyed, the time that I've been able to spend guiding. At this point in my career, since I've been, guiding for a while now, I really kind of have my own clientele basis that I've been taking out for years, and I've been able to kind of see them progress and whatnot. So, kind of during the season, my goal is always to have at least, 10 to 12 kind of guide trips specifically that are outside of community fly fishing, and kind of taking folks out. So, it's been a ton of fun. I'm able to do a lot of walk and wade stuff closer to the Denver area, kind of Front Range area, and then we also have different permits and whatnot for floating, walk and wading, kind of like further into the mountains as well too. So yeah,
How much
thanks, Mark.
fun. Unbelievable.
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so, like I said, I'm not quite sure how long it'll take to get things edited. And we'll also send you some various short clips of you talking about maybe the Bahamas, you talking about the women's program, you talking about your relationship with Front Range Anglers and Wonderland Outdoors, et cetera, et
Awesome.
cetera. So I hope this is highly useful for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it might still be recording there. Uh, but
It
yeah,
it
no.
did. They edited it all. It doesn't
Oh,
even
okay, cool.
it doesn't even
That
matter.
doesn't even
It
matter.
doesn't even matter.
But no, man,
Oh,
but yeah, no, I appreciate it, man.
yeah.
And I will say too, man, there's definitely some folks I know, that would definitely be interested in this, man. So I can, definitely do some reach outs and whatnot. How often are you trying to do kind of recordings and episodes, Mark?
I would like to do 3 to 4 a week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Man, that's
I mean,
cool. Yeah, I definitely have some folks.
it's super easy. Working with this team makes it just seamless.
Easy. That's
Really
so
easy to
nice.
do. Yeah.
For sure.
It's not free, but
It's not free, but yeah, yeah.
yeah.
100%, man.
And
Man, well,
I would
cool.
love to I've got a question for you, a seed to
Yeah.
plant.
Mhm.
I would love um for you to think about the question, what are 10 things you should ask a fly fishing guide before hiring you?
Mm, that is a good question. And that goes right into what we kind of ask when we bring our instructors on for community fly fishing. So for sure, I got some stuff for you for sure.
Because I'm also working with some of the brightest people in our office here at Maya Wealth on producing what are the 10 questions you should ask a financial advisor before you hire them.
Mm, those are good questions too.
Right.
Definitely, definitely,
Because
definitely.
some of the material you're going to come up with fly fishing, people just wouldn't even think about, right?
Hmm.
You know,
For sure.
how many days have you actually spent on the specific river we're fishing? how many days on the specific section of the river?
Mm,
You know, have you fished it throughout the year? Do you have any special flies that you tie on your own that are differentiated from what you buy in the shop? You know, blah, 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 blah. But pretty
definitely.
cool.
Those are good questions.
So
Man, I love
I've,
it.
I've got to be off the phone in about less than 5 minutes. But
Man, all good.
yeah, would it be possible to grab coffee or lunch?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, I'm here for the next 2 weeks and then I'm gone for a month. So let's do it, man. That's perfect.